Hello everybody, this is Show here. Now, whenever we last left off, Deku, he has just had a problem. He took down Muscular. That was a good thing. He saved Koda. That was a good thing. But he failed to save some people. He's not sure who they are yet. Until the police do a head count, they are missing 3 people out of the total of the Class 1A and 1B students. Someone they're missing from all the students they're missing are from Class 1A, however. They are missing Tokoyami, Todoroki, and, well, another person, Ibara. Now, these are the only ones that All For One has been able to get a hold on. And, well, Deku, hearing about this, would be a bit angry, knowing that they have his friends. God damn it, they have his fucking friends. Along with Deku somewhat having to rest and try and look at his injury. It is bleeding a lot, even through the bandages and the ice Todoroki gave him, as he's basically rushed to the hospital, along with Katsuki. Her injuries are will possibly be able to be healed by Recovery Girl. Deku's, however, may need some a more serious look at. It's just possibly that bad. Paramedics have never seen scarring, or well, at least something that may scar like that, since he may have actually taken out a large chunk of his arm. Now, with that being said, Deku, he would have passed out on the way to the hospital, along with Katsuki basically staying with him. Eventually, Deku would wake up in a hospital bed, and he would try to get up. Katsuki basically telling him that he needs to stay laying down. It's going to be a bit hard to explain. Deku just looking around. She's sitting on a chair to his right. What the hell happened? All I remember is the ambulance. Where is everyone? They're back at UA. But your mom does want to talk to you. I've told her that you'll be fine and will try to explain it the best I can. But she does have one question. What's going on with that third quirk? I didn't really know what to tell her, so I kinda just hung up on her. Telling her I'm not really sure myself. You just kinda popped up in the middle of battle. It's sorta just weird. I'm not used to lying to your mom. She's a very good woman. Izuku. Deku just begins to try and move. He would get up, his arm hurting intensely, as he's able to at least stand and grab onto the, thing right next to him, using it for support. This is the needle in his arm, along with, the actual fluid being pumped into him, on a metal rack. Now, Deku, he is tired. He just feels exhausted. Him just asking exactly how long has he been out then? Her explaining that he passed out sometime around 20 minutes into the hospital trip. After you passed out, the paramedics were to try and make sure you were okay. You were, I believe, out for about 15 minutes before we got there. Then you just started drifting in and out. That was a bit weird. But, I woke up about an hour ago, so it should all be fine. Now, Aizawa does want to talk to us whenever he can, along with some police officers. They do have word on Koda though. He should be okay. Deku's somewhat smiling, before he somewhat starts to lean over and cough. His ribs hurt a lot. Most of his body does. Jesus. 1,000,000% is a bitch to handle. Deku's somewhat just getting back up, and walking with Katsuki. Or, yeah, Katsuki. Anyways, now, they would have walked out. Most of Class 1A is there with them, so them actually being happy to see him, along with Katsuki. The Wild Wild Pussycats are there along with Koda. Koda somewhat running over and hugging Deku's leg, somewhat shouting thank you, thank you, thank you, and also that he's his hero. Deku somewhat smiling, before he does look down at his hands. The parts of it that are exposed, they are clearly scarred from burns. Deku somewhat just pulling up the sleeve to his shirt, seeing that he did it again, to his other arm this time. Shit. Now, Deku, he would just begin, thanking everyone for coming to see him, and her. But, what's going on with everyone in, 1A? They can't really be fine with this, or even sure what's going on. As Aizawa would announce that the villains have been attacking Class 1A too frequently and too much. So, they have a bit of a plan. Now, I understand your weird relationship with Miss Katsuki here, and, well, Miss Todoroki. So, the plan, if you do not violate it, is to put you into a dorm on UA campus, so as to prevent you all from getting attacked or, well, sidelined by villains again. So, we are going to be talking to your family soon, and making sure that this will be fine. But, that's just it. Todoroki's family. Endeavor, we know that he may sign off on it immediately, along with possibly create security upgrades for the campus. So, I'm unfortunately going to have to say that you will all be moving in today, and trying to get accustomed to it while you can. Schooling will be suspended for a little while too. It was quite a large thing to go through. But anyways, we are working on currently finding the missing students. So, you all just need to take a rest and take a breather. This has been something that may be heavily traumatic for you. If not for mentally, then possibly physically. Now, everyone would leave, as I was somewhat pulling Deku to the side, saying that he understands that he used a lot of his power, and took down Muscular. That is nothing that he is mad about, nor is he upset about. He's actually somewhat proud of him. Deku is somewhat tearing up, as Aizawa would just tell him to stop that. You are a hero. You saved that young boy. You became his hero. Proved that he can believe again. That takes much more than anyone I've ever met. Something All Might, and only All Might, have seen do. You will be a great hero someday. Now, Deku, he would leave with everyone else, finding that all of his stuff has already been moved. Everyone's somewhat taking time to adjust. And while Deku's mom, Inko, being a bit confused and mad at the same time. Her son has gotten injured multiple times under Yue's watch. It may not be as bad, but after explaining certain things and, well, exactly what happened, Inko would have been a bit more understanding. Understanding that the UA attack, or the USJ attack, was something UA couldn't control. They weren't even aware they were going to be attacked that day. But her son was able to hold off the villains and protect quite a lot of people. She understood that. This one is the same occurrence, just again. Her son got injured again. And what has UA done to stop that? Nothing. What happened to the number one hero? He was supposed to be there. Along with this new quirk. She didn't understand one, but now there's another. Can you please explain to me, All Might, exactly why is this a thing? Can you explain to me why my son is creating, or at least having quirks pop out of his body every other month? Now, All Might would shrink down, which would have surprised Inko. Deku not really reacting, as Kitsuki is also with him. Deku just telling his mom that he's sorry, but he deserves to, well, shit. Okay. Mom, you deserve an explanation too. All Might, allow me? You see, Miss Midoriya, ever since I found your son, after the Sledgeville incident, I have been working towards keeping him safe. I thought his quirk would be out of control, or, well, very dangerous, if left unattended to. So, I began to train your son. I actually, well, I was going to say I had him as a candidate, but now he is my successor. Successor? Successor to what? My quirk. Now, Inko would be a bit confused and actually a bit shocked, asking what does he mean. To which he would continue saying that One for All is his quirk. It can only be passed down by, well, my choice. Your son's quirk was impressive and, well, a bit dangerous. He's a natural prodigy, I understand that. Endeavor has once taken an interest in the boy. He still has that interest. Now, your son has used my quirk repeatedly over and over again. I have made sure that he does not go over a certain limit. Along with that, apparently, which is whenever All Might would try giving a better explanation. Explaining that the users inside One for All are helping train him too. They basically can limit his power, and tell him whenever he needs to do something else. He basically has an entire line of tacticians on his side. All Might somewhat lying about that last part. An entire line of tacticians. The users of One for All weren't military. They weren't anything, they were just regular people every day, like you or me. Deku knows that. But he knows that his mom needs to hear this. Along with that, Endeavor can be used to, or well, at least train him properly. He is the expert on fire, the resident expert, if you will. He has somewhat come to UA to train him, actually internshipping underneath him. Your son said that he learned more than he has in his entire life in those 2 weeks about his fire and how to control it. Please. To which All Might would get on his hands and knees, bowing, saying that we would be honored to have him at UA. Now, Inko would still be confused, but she would agree to this, as she signs off on the paper. Deku somewhat having his eyes tear up, as they would walk out the door. Mitsuki, she does sign off on it immediately, but, well, yeah. All Might's a bit surprised. He can clearly tell where Katsuki got her personality from. But it seems to be a bit more laxed, or well, something her mom doesn't really practice on very much. So, They would get those papers sent off on and leave. Everyone heading back to the dorms. Now, this is whenever they'd be trying to at least relax and get adjusted to things. Everyone just sitting down and watching TV. Deku with his cast on. Somewhat just sitting there. This is all new to him. He needs to continue to train. But where are those? Where are my predecessors? I haven't heard from them ever since. It's been days. Where are they? Well, I should at least go out and train then. Deku's standing up. Everyone looking at him. He doesn't say a single word as he walks away. Clearly he is troubled. Kitsuki, she would get up too. And somewhat walk in his direction. So, something's happening. Now, this is whenever Deku, he would put on his shoes and he would walk outside. As he just sits there, thinking for a second. He needs to find them. Where are they? As he just tries to look inside of his head. He can't find them. He can't find anyone. Or did he hurt One For All? Did he damage it too much? Did he do something wrong? Did they die? Again? No. As Deku gets a hand on his shoulder. Kitsuki saying that he needs to calm down. Listen, it wasn't your fault, and yes, it was. As she would someone just back away. Deku standing up, saying that it was his fault. Don't you understand? I could have protected one of them. Yet, I let you protect me. Don't you understand? If I didn't make that choice, if I just chose to go after them, that wouldn't be me in her situation. Not this way. Not as Deku just basically breaks down the porch. Kitsuki walking over to him. As she basically just leans up against him, saying that she knows how he feels. Don't you get it? I was able to get close enough and I didn't think about it. I attacked the wrong person. I wasn't being tactical, I wasn't thinking either. I wasn't even just trying to think about it. I was all attack. So, I guess we both do share the blame. Katsuki's somewhat just laying over Deku's lap. Deku somewhat wincing in pain. Her looking at the expression on his face. Are you okay? Yeah, I'll be fine. Just concerned. You know, I haven't told All Might this yet. Told him what? Whatever's going on with One For All, it's bigger than me or him or anyone at this point. I don't have access to it yet. What? I don't know. After I woke up in the hospital, something felt strange. After we got back to the dorms, I tried to use the quirk to go out for a run. I know, light duty and everything, but still. It wouldn't work. Along with that, I don't have access to Black Whip. So, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if the quirk's busted, broken, or even injured. All Might said that One For All stockpiles power. I don't know if I used it on one go or not. This is something new to me. I'm freaking out a bit. I may have just destroyed All Might's legacy. The power so many people have made for so long. I may have just destroyed it in 1 second. They protected me. My predecessors protected me. I'm not sure how to feel about that. I'm not sure what to do. I'm not sure how to even process this. I don't even know how to as Katsuki would interrupt him, pulling him in for a kiss. Deku doesn't pull away from this one. He's just crying and he needs someone to talk to. As they would just sit there for a minute. Deku thinking that he needs to talk to All Might. He needs to find out what's going on. Now, this is whenever All Might would actually walk up. He somewhat heard most of their conversation, but he didn't want to intrude. Deku actually paying attention, as he basically just sits on the porch with Katsuki in his arms. All Might would finally get their attention, asking exactly what's going on. Hey, All Might, we need to talk. Deku giving All Might an explanation. All Might somewhat being heartbroken, but he would tell Deku one thing. He didn't break One for All. If anything, you somewhat need to understand. 1,000,000% isn't something to mess around with. Katsuki actually looking at Deku for a second. He used that much power in one go. That's intense. So, 1 million? Yeah. Nearly tore off my arm. Doctor said to be careful. Young Midori, this isn't time for jokes. Listen, I came by because tomorrow we're raiding the villain's base. What? Yes. We have somewhat of a lead. We will be taking them down shortly. Along with that, I was wondering if you could accompany me, but you were already in no condition, but I didn't want to leave you out of the loop. So, thanks, All Might. But I think we have bigger problems than that. Oh, yes, we do. All for One is most likely going to try something, or pull something. So, this is going to be difficult. Do you understand me? Yes, All Might. I'll stay out of it the best I can. Now, All Might would just walk away. Deku and Katsuki, they would just get up and walk into the dorms. As Deku walks into the living room, seeing Kirishima. He's just staying there trying to talk to everyone in Class 1A, saying that they need to do something. They can't just leave their classmates like that. They can't just... To which Deku would have walked over, putting his hand on his shoulder, saying that they can't do anything. All Might just told me outside that they're going to the villain's hideout. They're getting our allies back, our friends. Okay? For now, the best we could do is just sit on the sidelines. No, we're not sitting on the sidelines. We're maintaining the home front to Kirishima. If we make it look like everything's business as normal, villains won't know what to think. They'll think that we're still planning, not that we're attacking. Okay, man? To which Kirishima would somewhat just wipe away his tears, saying, Yeah, okay, I think I get it. Now, Deku would just sit down on the couch, as Katsuki would lay up against him. People actually watching as Deku just holds her. Clearly he's not. Well, clearly he knows something, but he's been through enough. Or it looks like she at least won. Now, with that being said, a couple or at least one day would pass. Deku's somewhat beginning to have a dream. He doesn't remember it properly, but he at least knows that he can feel something. His quirk feels a little bit stronger, along with him actually getting a spark this morning. One for All isn't completely gone. It's healing. It will take time. Now, eventually Deku would be outside, somewhat just looking off. and thinking. This has been difficult. So, what exactly can he do? Fuck. This isn't helping. As his phone would ring, he would pick it up a bit confused. Hello? So, you are my sister's little plaything, aren't you? What? Your sister? Who is this? The name you called me by. Toya. I haven't heard that name in years. So the only way you know about it is if my sister told you. Hmm. Well, this is a pleasant surprise. Toya, your sister didn't tell me your dad did. That man has never cared about me before. He just threw me in an ambulance and left. No, I get it. I've heard the story. Your little accidents. He threw you in an ambulance. You went to a hospital. From what I've heard, he said the doctors told you, or told him that you disappeared. Not sure if that's true or not. Hmm. Well, I'm a bit surprised. You have an improved version of my quirk. Exactly how is that? I'm a prodigy. What can you expect? So, what do you want? Well, first off, my sister. The League has her. And, well, I may not care for my father, but I do care for her. So, meet me at the old train station. You know where it is, correct? The one in this town? Yes, the one in this town. Listen, you need to know. I will talk to you. I just need you to answer me some questions. Okay? Alright. Deku hanging up the phone. Thinking. If that really was Toya, then this means that Endeavor, he needs to tell him this soon. Him somewhat turning around. Katsuki standing there, asking if he's gonna leave. Yeah, I need to go somewhere. You're not in any shape to fight. I know. But I can't use one for all, so I can at least rely on my own quirk, my own power. Now, Deku would walk inside and get changed. Changing into his hero suit pants, along with having his ballistic armor, and hiding his new mask in his jacket, saying that he's gonna go. He's gonna go out for a run. Ida would begin to question Deku. Why is he taking his hero pants? Well, dude, they're easier to run in. Besides, they're a little heavy, so I want to get used to them. Deku, somewhat being able to convince Ida. Ida has really no reason to suspect him, but he was a bit confused by that. But he kinda does get it. He's usually in a big suit of armor. Now, Deku would leave, as he meets Toya Todoroki at an old train station. Him getting a bit of a weird feeling. He knows that this won't be an ambush, or at least he hopes so. Now, Deku, he would finally meet Toya face to face. He's in an old tunnel, as he would light his hand, seeing him. So, you're the triple quirk wonders I've heard, correct? Yeah. And you're the infamous son of the number 2 hero. Endeavor. Toya Todoroki, right? Yeah. Anyways, I do have a bit of a question. No, I'm not related to your dad, or not some secret love child, or any of that shit. I've heard it all before. He did a fucking DNA test when I was 4. Surprise, surprise. I'm not your brother. Why would you even think that? Sorry. Well, I don't know what kind of freak experiments they could be doing on you. I don't know if you're some lab rat or anything. Last time I've seen this, it was a bit confusing. What? Someone with the same quirk as you? Exactly. You get it. Now, as Toya would just hold up a little envelope, there is something inside. Deku would reach out to grab it, Toya saying that this is a bit sensitive. Now, what I need you to do is fight me. Why? Because I didn't reveal that we had this marble yet. The League thinks we only have two of you, or at least the third marble is buried somewhere back in that forest. So, I want to fight you. If you can beat me, I'll turn myself in. And what? From what I heard, you didn't want this. You wanted something else. You wanted your own life, Toya. Your quirk, it fucked you over. Because you have an ice user's body. Toya is somewhat flinching at that statement. He really does know a lot, or at least has talked to Endeavor. Asking exactly why does he know that little fact. Your dad. He regrets it. I actually saw him tear up during my internship, talking to me about this. His biggest mistake was abandoning his son whenever he needed him the most. He has a mission to be the number one. Beat All Might, as he says. But even then, as there's a loud explosion. This is whenever Katsuki would come in. She followed Deku. Deku basically turning and somewhat throwing up a wall of fire. Katsuki basically just turning her hands backwards and exploding them, asking him what he's doing. He's a villain. No. Katsuki, trust me, please. Besides, if he was a villain, he wouldn't be offering me to, well, do one little thing to get back at Todoroki. And what is that? Turn yourself in to the villains? No, actually. To beat him in a fight. He wants to see if being made for your quirk was any better. So I'll prove it to him that it was not. If I win, I get Todoroki. If he wins, he gets me. You're serious, aren't you? Yes, so please. I understand this, you might not understand, but please don't interrupt us. As Toya leads Deku underground. Eventually the fire would die down, as Katsuki can follow through. Watching as they come down to the old abandoned station underground. Toya getting ready, as these two would begin a fight. As soon as Toya said go, the entire area got engulfed in fire, and the two begin to fight. Toya using his quirk at 100%. Deku somewhat going at 95. He doesn't want to completely burn his body, or at least whenever he does use 100%, he uses it in short bursts, allowing him to get a bit of a an edge on Toya. Now, Deku would continue, as eventually the fight would get to close range. Deku being able to run forward and actually use his fire as a drill, getting directly through Toya's and actually being able to run in and sock him with an uppercut. With his good arm. As he begins to use kicks and somewhat do a bit of a shoe style. He throws fire kicks and fire punches. Along with any time he can, he would try blowing fire out of his mask. Eventually, after some time, Deku and Toya would be in a bit of a grapple. Deku is still flinching. His arm may be healed. A bit. But the massive trauma he put on it is still there. As he would have let his right arm slide backwards, Toya somewhat moving forward that direction. Deku letting go of his left hand and bringing it downwards into a punch, hitting him in the ribs. as he sends a knee up into his gut and uses his left arm to slam it downwards over his head, knocking him to the ground. Toya being pissed off, saying that this isn't how it was supposed to go. You know, I can tell you one thing. You're holding back. I know it. You don't want to hurt me. Listen, your dad wants to see you. Even if you turn yourself in, you'll probably get a lighter sentence. Please. Toya. Deku holding his hand outwards. Him seeing the burns. He's not the only one with the scars. As he holds his hand outwards, grabbing onto Deku's and actually accepting it. Being pulled to his feet. As he holds out this letter, ripping it apart, and pouring out the contents, a marble. Turning it around and saying that this should just do the trick. Throwing it and smashing it into a wall. As Todoroki takes a deep breath and begins to stand up, saying, "You're not gonna get me, you." As she's a bit confused. Where is she? As she looks forward to see Deku and Dobby standing next to each other. She would immediately go to bring her hand up. Deku just standing in front of him, saying that, hey, listen, you're not gonna believe this, but you need to call your dad. Long time no see, sis. Her being a bit confused, as she would run forward and actually start crying. Her brother's alive. Toya's alive. Now, she would just be thinking Deku, as Deku would somewhat just nod. Her going to bring him into a hug. Deku basically just somewhat shifting to the right, so that she doesn't at least grab her arm. Now, with that being said, eventually these three would leave, Toya included, as he walks away and takes a phone call that he really didn't think he'd have to do. He gets sent a voicemail, leaving a message that he wants to meet here, this time, this day. See you later, Pop. Now, with that being said, these three will be heading back to the dorms. Todoroki's still being filled in on everything that's happened. Along with, well, Katsuki basically saying that she already kissed Deku. Again. Her thinking that that means that the little competition's over. She won Midoriya. So she'd actually be a bit bummed out. But she has her brother back, so there's at least an upside to losing. Now, with that being said, these three would arrive. Everyone being in shock to see Todoroki. Along with basically someone pushing past Deku. They barely acknowledged her, as they would all run into the front room to see what's on the TV. All Might is in his weak form, and he is fighting against this villain. That's bad. As they would see how it goes down in canon, on the screen. So clearly this was good. As All Might would just point to the screen, saying that it's your turn now. Deku actually somewhat tearing up a bit. Everyone will be cheering as Deku would just walk into the other room. Someone catching on to that. It was, well, weird. Ito would just walk in, asking exactly what is that. Do you know something about this, Midoriya? No, it's just that I've had a bit of a busy day. Deku just walking away. Now, the next week it would be announced that All Might is retiring. Katsuki thinking a collective fuck. Deku's kind of predicted that. Now, eventually the big three would arrive and make their presence known. Deku, he has been able to actually use One for All. The successors, however, they're probably going to take a bit more time. He's at least tried reaching out to Nana, so it's at least worked a little bit. He got no response, however, but he thinks he had a dream the other night. That may help him. Now, with that being said, the big three would challenge these three, or everyone in Class 1A. As things would go like in canon. Everyone's suiting up and getting ready until the entire class gets taken down, except for Todoroki, except for Katsuki, and except for Deku. Deku being ready. Todoroki, she would use her ice and fire against Tamaki, while Katsuki, she's able to fight off Nejire and her spiral attacks. Now, Deku versus Mirio. Deku, he is able to somewhat blitz Mirio, and actually use his speed to try. Now, Deku may not have all of One for All back yet, so he is at least at around 5 to around 7%. So around Canon Deku. At this time, Deku, he would be running in. He's already seen Mirio's quirk, so as he would just begin to throw around fire, actually beginning to charge it up and actually start firing it randomly in different directions. Mirio actually being a bit surprised. Deku has a good control over his quirk. Well, you have Nejire, who is fighting with Katsumi. Well, Tamaki is actually being worn down and actually held off quite a bit. Anytime he makes anything with, well, a shell, Todoroki either tries to burn through it or freeze it, along with actually trying to do absolute zero a lot. She's taking this fight very, very seriously. Now, eventually, I want to say Todoroki would possibly win against Tamaki, while Katsuki, she would lose against Nejire. Nejire is a very powerful person. Her quirk is not to be underestimated, actually. It's pretty strong. Now, Mirio, however, him against Deku, I want to say eventually he would overpower Deku, as he could permeate through the fire. And anytime he needs to, he could just jump high enough to take a deep breath and get away from the flames. He would be woozy and, well, sometimes burned, but he would have been able to actually knock out Deku, or at least do that move he did to Canon Deku, permeating through his eyes and making him temporarily blind. Then sending a powerful shockwave, or, well, punch into his stomach or chest, actually having to do that quite a lot, to which would have actually impressed him quite a bit, as he would have taken down Todoroki in a couple swift moves. Now, with that being said, everyone, they would be talking with Mirio and the Big Three. Him actually saying that those three are possibly the strongest yet. Getting serious against an opponent is fairly hard, especially because this isn't the best place for my proper movements, or a way he likes to use his quirk. Now, eventually, it would be time for the provisional license exam. Deku, he's sitting on the bus with Katsuki. These two basically sitting next to each other and actually listening to music. People somewhat noticing that, well, Todoroki, she doesn't really seem to mind this. In fact, she's just staring at her phone and talking to someone, as she's talking to her brother Toya. He somewhat was able to get on a lighter sentence, but he's also just been put under Endeavor's care, along with actually being interrogated and talked to by Principal Nezu. Now, this is whenever the provisional license exam would go somewhat like canon. However, the wind guy, he is a bit confused whenever he sees Endeavor's daughter. She wasn't at the provisional license exam, so what's she doing here? Especially at UA. Now, he would see her actually smiling, or at least not the way Todoroki is in canon, meaning that he wouldn't try and hold a grudge. In fact, he's actually quite a bit impressed by her. Now, things would go similar where Katsuki, she's a bit wary of that wind guy, or at least the guy who has the tracking quirk, that Bakugo didn't shake hands with in canon. Now, everyone will be ready, along with Deku. He is just waiting for Wonderful to come back to him completely. He knows it will take time, especially now that All Might doesn't have the quirk anymore, so it's actually returning a lot faster. Now, with that being said, everyone would notice as soon as Class 1A begins that they are being immediately targeted. Deku usually having to throw up a lot of fire, or at least walls upon walls, to make sure that none of them get attacked or well surrounded. Along with Todoroki doing the same with her ice, while Katsuki, she's staying close with Deku. The two actually being able to tag team and create a special move. Anytime people surround them, these two would have both brought their hands out. And, well, she would have done an explosion while Deku does a cremation burst. Basically, a powerful enough wave to where Deku can send his fire straight up, going straight through her explosions, amping them up quite a bit. Now, with that being said, Class 1A would eventually pass. Everyone would. Deku would get his provisional license, and he would be a bit more happy. Them all returning to the dorms. Deku and Katsuki, they would both be chilling out on the couch, talking and actually watching some of those old movies they used to watch. It's been quite a busy day and they're just enjoying their nights, as they would fall asleep cuddling. Now, with that being said, let us cut over to somewhere else. Endeavor's house. He's a bit nervous. He's gotten a text, or at least a voicemail, during the villain's raid a couple weeks ago. He's been thinking about this as he gets ready, going out to a public place, not in hero costume. Actually, a bit surprised since no one notices the new number one hero. Now, he would have sat down at a coffee shop as someone in a hoodie would walk up. Nice to finally see you again, Dad. So, I'm here. Surprised you even actually showed up, especially out of costume. So, let's just talk about everything. Now, that is going to be where I leave this off of, guys. I do hope you enjoyed, and well, I do hope you guys enjoyed this series. Because that means I will be able to get back onto my Hacker Deku. And then actually be able to resume progress with Space Marines. Busy, busy week. I have been trying to look up a lot of things for Space Marines, and I've actually been having a bit of trouble. I've gotten some research done, but not as much as I would like to. Since anytime I think about it, it's a bit too late. Now, I will be doing that this weekend, along with also catching up on my own Hacker series, so that I will be able to do it and continue it properly. So I do hope you guys enjoyed. And this was actually a really fun what if to make. And yeah, I think you guys understand.